So here we are, early April. Today's the 7th of April. This is our first orchard, and we're fresh out of winter, and I'm going to fertilize today, mainly to get our nutrient management plan underway. As you can see, we've got a lot of mulch here, and this is wood shavings, and still pretty frosty. And underneath the wood shavings we've got compost, which you can kind of see there. So these plants are all looking pretty good. You can see there's some buds starting to form, and we expect these guys to start blooming end of this month, usually. Maybe a couple days into May, depending on the weather. So, because we're expecting a snowstorm to show up on Monday night, and it looks like we're going to get quite a bit of snow, maybe 15 centimeters plus, changing to freezing rain, then a little bit of rain, and then that'll be it, hopefully, and we won't see any more. So what we're doing today is fertilizing. And what we use for fertilizer is a fish seaweed fertilizer. And the orchards are still a bit soft. That last orchard was our first orchard, the one we started in 2013. So today I'm using a Kubota. This is a B series tractor, B3300 SU. It's 33 horsepower. It's very small tractor. It's a great orchard tractor. Had it since 2013. It's never let me down. And it doesn't weigh much. It only weighs maybe 2,000 pounds with the front end loader on it. So we're using a inexpensive sprayer. This is a Scorpion sprayer. It was a boom sprayer, and I think it was $1,000 to buy it new, and I've had it since 2014. So I took the booms off, ordered these nozzles, Boominator nozzles. There's a left and a right, and the reason for that was we also use compost tea, and not much gets stuck in these. These guys can handle a little bit of debris going through the lines. This just went to the hardware store, picked up a couple ball valves, so if I want to spray left and right, I can do that, or I can spray both sides. And these nozzles are great. They'll shoot out to about 16 feet if you crank the pressure up. So on here, it's just a pump, put on your PTO, and then you've got a pressure regulator here. And another useful feature is it's got a nice little garden hose. So if you want to just be very specific in a certain area, then you can just use the garden hose. So we use this sprayer everywhere. So the fertilizer we're using is a fish seaweed mix. It's 75% fish and 25% seaweed. It looks like chocolate milk when you put it in. Foams up pretty good. You have to let it settle. And also Solabar, which is boron. Although the fish seaweed fertilizer does have boron in it, it's not enough for our plants. So we've added enough to bring up the boron levels a little bit. And depending on your soil test will depend on how much boron you need. So this tractor is a little bit noisy, so hearing protectors so it doesn't drive you crazy. Other than that, it's works pretty good. So this is going to take 50 gallons, and we're mixing it at maximum strength of 5 gallons for 50 gallons to give us maximum strength fertilizer. And the reason we're starting so early is we want to get this on. It takes a couple weeks for it to break down. So as things are starting to warm up, there'll be some fertilizer in the ground, fresh, for the plants to take advantage of it when they're blooming and subsequently berry development. So after the bloom, we will also add another spray. But right now, it takes a little while to fill it up. And once we're filled up, then off we go. So in this case, we're just going to do a root zone spray only, and we'll see how that'll be fine. If you want to do a foliar spray with these nozzles, just take a wrench and you can turn them to whatever angle that you want them to be on. And if they get clogged up, they're even better, because you get a little screw you can take out and take the end off, and you can clean them out. So great little nozzle, lasts forever, made of stainless steel. And these guys are 1250 right. So we also had to get the brass fitting for them for this guy, and then I just made the hole a little bit bigger. But the boom sprayer, this had 2 booms on each side. It was not going to work for us. So instead of spending, you know, $3,000 to $5,000 for a compost tea sprayer, this was an excellent replacement. I think the nozzles cost me a couple $100. And this pump, you can replace them or you can rebuild them if they get bad. But the biggest thing is just not to let them get frozen, and they're fine. So once this is filled up, we'll go out to the orchard and we'll spray this first orchard, and then we've got 2 more orchards to do after that. So this is going to... So we're just about filled up with that sprayer, and you can see here, this is where we get our fish seaweed fertilizer from. We get it in 55-gallon drums, and we mix it, or you have to stir it using this guy, which is a pretty nifty little rig. Just plop it in there, run it on the drill, and it'll stir it up. And then we use a plastic pump. These come from Princess Auto, 20 bucks a piece. And the reason for plastic is that this stuff is very acidic and will corrode anything made out of metal very quickly. This is our general purpose fertilizer. We use approximately 12 to 15 gallons per year per orchard, and it works really well so far. So what we can see is good fruit set and very good berry quality, high Brix value, and we're just about there. Yeah, that's probably plenty.